I think. All right.
There's a storm.
My mouse has once again disappeared. We live? We are live. Hello, welcome. There's some technical difficulties there early, I guess, but
Where's my face like that?
But yeah, we're okay. I think we're good. Welcome to the live.
I'm sorry.
For you good, Cody?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, good. Then we're here. We're good. Our first ever live show. Not only showing our first ever showing faces, but us
I need my rice.
doing everything. So it's the draft. The Carolina Panthers are literally seconds away from being on the clock. So
I'm still not seeing that.
Can you not see
now
anything?
I am. Now I am. Never mind. I was talking about the draft on TV.
Oh,
it wasn't showing up. Now it is.
Oh, what you got there? A little Super Bowl shuffle poster?
It is an original vinyl.
Oh, like from '85, or was it recorded
Yeah.
in '86?
Yeah, but my dad got one. I got one for my dad sealed. This one was supposed to be sealed. I just kept it myself because they're not going to be around forever.
Oh,
My dad, when he was a kid, got a Walter Payton signed one.
That's pretty cool.
A Walter Payton signed vinyl of their.
No, it was a picture of him and just signed it.
Oh, I mean that's still pretty cool. Does he still have it?
Because no, it's long gone, I think.
I mean, how's my video? Fun?
It's okay. We're also live, by the way, Brett. I don't know if you knew that. So
is the volume overwhelming? Not very loud.
Fine. Do I need to put this forward then?
I think it's fine. Forward, backward.
Can you see my face?
It's a little like maybe go up a little bit because you're like in the corner.
This is the furthest I can go.
Oh. I can play around with that. Just give me a second to tell people we're live. So.
You know what I should do? I need to grab my computer to see what it looks like so I can adjust.
Oh, that's a good idea. It's gonna be behind, so it's gonna take a minute to.
I need to grab my charger too.
It's exciting. I'm waiting.
Battery.
Okay, can you hear me? Jeff.
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, since we're live, what I was saying was I'm excited for all these trades.
Oh yeah, it sounds like there's going to be more trades than ever. At least that's what it seems like all the NFL is talking about right now. Is like everybody wants to move.
Which I wanted to incorporate that yesterday, but it's almost impossible, and I don't know where to start.
Oh yeah, I mean with a mock draft, like you can assume, and I know a lot of people have assumed Titans would trade up, and it sounds like there's a good chance.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking.
There's reports the Packers could trade up for a quarterback now.
I mean, it makes sense because they have to make a decision pretty soon on Jordan Love's fifth-year option, and it's like what, $20 million?
And since they got that, and if they're going to get the conditional pick for next year because he's going to play 60% of the snaps, most likely.
More than likely. I've tried to think of how they could calculate that to make sure they don't, but it's impossible unless he gets hurt.
That's it. Or he retires.
yes, which I don't see him doing middle of the season.
It's hot in here.
So,
Sorry, that was random, but who's watching?
Hey, Cody, you want to be in control of like the YouTube comments or anything like that in case we do get them? Just because
Oh my God, it's way behind.
I know I think it's
I got up like 5 minutes ago, and I just got up on screen.
yeah, it's I think it's because of my bad connection, and unfortunately there's nothing we can kind of do about that. So for those who do watch, I'm sorry. We'll I guess have to work on it. And Roger Goodell now is coming to the podium getting booed.
Yep, he is.
With a Modern Family actor that's a Chief Supers fan. I don't remember what his name is, but I'm sure what most people have seen Modern Family.
Your pic.
Yep.
Yeah. Your picture's really clear on YouTube.
It is.
On Discord, it looks
Well,
horrible, but on YouTube,
it's a different camera
clear.
for the Discord.
Yeah, on Discord.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never
Because
mind.
I couldn't use both or the same camera for one.
Go, Roger.
Because I can't position it right.
I can play around with it if you
Dang.
can't. Just get it to where you're comfortable, and then I'll do it from.
That's probably better.
Yeah, I can see everything above your nose. That's perfect. That's perfect. Brett, you're a little low, so I don't know if you want to like. That's better.
Well,
That's perfect. What you were a second ago is perfect. Now you're a little.
yeah, I know.
Okay. That's
He
fine.
looks a lot better on YouTube than on
he
here.
does on here. That's interesting. But
So,
hey,
do you have it up?
I don't have it up, no.
Like,
Because if
I
I
can
move
see
the
his whole
computer, it
face on
kind of
YouTube.
messes stuff up. So I don't want to touch anything. But can you also hear us on YouTube? Like,
Yeah, but I turned it down
it's
because
fine. I just want to make sure like
really loud.
all of us are like able to get heard.
I might have to rely on you guys to update me unless I find a live stream. It seems like mine's gonna be behind.
And plus, if whatever live stream you find, it's gonna have some type of delay versus my cable. So
Yeah, a little bit.
What's yours at, Brett? Are you on or what are you using?
NFL.com.
So then I'm gonna be ahead. And
I'm using about the same thing.
Yeah, because right now Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are coming onto the podium with the Lombardi and getting lots of boos and lots of cheers.
Mine's on some Seahawks fan.
Interesting. So
I think it's different cameras then or something.
It might be.
Yeah, Roger Good.
Sponsored by Sprite.
Yeah. Goodell's just now going onto the podium for me.
Oh yeah. So
yep.
You're probably where our live stream is at. So.
Yeah, because I'm at like where Mahomes is talking with the trophy.
Well, right now Travis Kelce is talking with the trophy, so I like how they kind of do this though. Like this is what the first time ever that the host city is a Super Bowl winner, because it was in New York for all the time, and New York didn't win anything.
Yep.
Well, I guess the Giants, but it's always Jets fans that I feel like went to the. Or at least there was always Jets fans that were kind of on the focus at, because I guess, technically, they're in New Jersey, but, I mean, I don't know how the boroughs, per se, maybe do their fan base liking in the game. But, I mean, it was in, Las Vegas last year, Goodell's basement the year before, Nashville the year before, which... Yeah, Nashville was kind of was the like.
That's the guy off Modern Family.
Yeah, he's finally on.
Yep. This was the Bears pick.
It was, and it's finally on the clock. So now we have 9 minutes until we know the team is finally.
Well, because you know they're getting some phone calls.
Oh yeah, I mean they're gonna take their time. Same with almost every pick. They're probably gonna take their time. I doubt we see a pick come in less than 3 minutes before the end of the timer.
Yeah.
I would say that's kind of how it always.
Exactly.
At least from my recollection, how it always goes. But I mean, a mock draft that came out this morning, which for anyone watching, you can check that out on all our social medias, which I believe they are linked below on this and everything. But our pick right now is Bryce Young for this pick, and it seems like that's everybody's. I know this morning it was minus 5,000 odds for him to go first overall. Is there a chance we see C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, you think, go first? I mean, was Carolina...
I mean, there's a chance, but...
Yeah.
There's the narrative right now. I think it's going to be Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we addressed last night, but...
Yeah.
I'm going to eat my rice.
you do that. I think this could be an interesting spot for. I mean, whatever quarterback they take in the next 7.5 minutes for at least me. I think Carolina isn't that far behind the rest of the division. If not, it seems like
the division is kind of wide open.
It is. I mean, people probably expect the Saints to be the front runners, depending on.
Yeah.
But I think the Falcons, I think the Panthers, even the Bucks, we call it wide open, but I think more because anyone can win it.
It's wide open because Tom Brady left.
Yeah, and even last year when Tom Brady was playing, it wasn't wide open, or it was wide open. Every team was in it until the second to last week.
Correct.
So it's going to be interesting, and I think whatever quarterback they do take here, I don't think he has to start right away. They have Andy Dalton, who...
They're starting right away. Come on.
I mean, Andy Dalton started for Justin Fields before he got hurt.
Yeah, but that was also Matt Nagy.
I don't think they want Andy Dalton. I don't think they brought in Andy Dalton to start or play at all.
No, but I mean, he seems like a really great guy. I wonder how good of a mentor he can be to whatever quarterback they pick.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had that talk during contract negotiations.
Bryce Young just stood up.
Yeah, but the pick isn't in. You just need to take a little walk or something.
They called him early.
Yeah, but maybe. I mean, I would assume whoever they are taking knows that they're taking him. I'm sure they have either called last night or maybe even weeks before.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely did.
I mean, some of those early teams have met with some of these guys several times. Whether that was at the Combine, Pro Day, they get top 30 visits. So I think some teams even met with players twice. I think the Bears met with Jalen Carter 2 or 3 times even.
Yeah, they met with him at least twice.
And I mean, speaking of Jalen Carter, he might be the biggest wild card of this entire draft, more than the QBs, arguably, because we know he's a talented guy, but there's a lot of off-the-field issues with him, and I'm sure we can talk more about his stuff. And we don't have to go into the legal stuff either. I feel like that's maybe not our place to go into.
It's fine. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Oh, well, they're all everyone in the Panthers war room right now is clapping, so I think they just put it in. The pick isn't in yet, but it looks like
they always clap.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting here now waiting on my TV's kind of right here in this corner, so I'm waiting for it to be like the pick is in and for Goodell to walk up and get booed. Do we get
Yeah.
How crazy would it be if they do a trade though? Like, say they can't make up their mind on which quarterback, so they trade with someone and get a massive. Because they gave up a lot to get up to one from Chicago, so
That's true.
it will be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Any comments or questions? If for anyone watching, put them in the below. Cody, I don't know if you're still keeping an eye on the chat for us to.
Yeah, I just looked at it.
Okay. You're using your computer to look at that?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, are you eating? Just making, like, you're not on the screen?
No. I'm looking down my computer.
Okay, that's fine. I just was making sure you knew that. Oh, the pick is in. I looked down and the pick is in. What, Bryce Young, are you about to be the next first overall pick quarterback? We haven't had one of those in 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, only, 2 years with Trevor Lawrence. And then before that, Joe Burrow. And before that, Kyler Murray? No, I'm skipping a year. No, I'm not skipping it. Kyler Murray, then Baker Mayfield, then... who was first overall in 2017? Mitch was second. Solomon Thomas was third. Why can't I picture who was first overall in 2017? Myles
what
Garrett.
year was?
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
Most of the time, it's a defense. It's an edge rusher if it's not a quarterback. I know back in the day, there's been like 2000, I believe 10 was Ndamukong. No. It was Sam Bradford. But it's either an edge rusher, a left tackle, or a quarterback for first overall in this day and age. And there's not.
Yeah.
There's some good tackles in this draft, but no one worthy of going first overall, especially teams that need quarterbacks. I mean, we see quarterback is the number one important thing you need, so teams early are going to take a quarterback. And I mean, if you look at the data, it's the top quarterbacks that go lately haven't been all of that. Last year, obviously, there was only one quarterback, and that even went in the first, and that was Kenny Pickett, who was not even a first over, like, top 10 pick. Oh, Goodell's at the podium.
Damn, I'm so behind.
I'm behind too.
Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young. Okay, so surprise, the person we all expected to be first overall pick is the first overall pick.
I'm shocked there.
But this is where it gets interesting, because now we have no idea what's going to happen. Obviously, in our mock draft, we have C.J. Stroud going to the Texans, but supposedly they're waiting a year for a quarterback.
Yeah, I saw that. They're going to tank, maybe.
Maybe,
potentially.
But
So do they trade out?
Maybe. I mean,
if that's the situation, yeah.
They are rebuilding. Yeah.
Should trade to like the end of the first, at least.
I know the rumors kind of stirring around today were that the Titans were trying to trade up to Arizona. Obviously, division opponents aren't going to trade with each other, so at least in this situation, I would expect Titans and Texans not to trade.
But if the draft capital's worth it, they would.
Yeah, but at the same time, do you want to? I mean, you would have to think this quarterback is a franchise guy to be giving up, to give your division rival that amount of those assets. Like, you're not going to just on a risk. You have to believe. Which, I mean, if Titans feel like it, but at the same time, I feel like they have too many holes to make that kind of decision. I know with the Texans.
Yeah, I know.
We talk that they might wait, but at the same time, I mean, the Titans still have Ryan Tannehill, whether you love him or hate him. He has led them to the playoffs before, him and Derrick Henry as a combo, so whether you like it or hate it, I don't know. I think if any team is going to wait a year, it's the Titans.
I bet you we see a Derrick Henry trade tomorrow.
Maybe. I
Maybe.
mean, we could see one tonight. We could see a lot of trades tonight. I'm scrolling on Twitter trying to waiting to see for a trade. I'm trying not to. So
You
much
think he's
'cause
going to be in the first round trade?
Maybe. I mean, he could be packaged to move up or down.
Maybe, yeah.
But I mean, we saw last year, Marquise Hollywood Brown was traded out of Baltimore to Arizona for Arizona to move into to get a first. We also saw AJ Brown last year traded to the Eagles in a day one trade.
Yeah, that's true.
DeAndre Hopkins is rumored to be up on the market, and it seems like it's the Bills or Chiefs that would be in a trade mix for him. I think, I mean, if we want to talk about that right now, I think either of those teams, no matter, I mean, supposedly the rumor is that it's around a second-round pick for Hopkins. I don't know what kind of details it will be for him, but if he gets any of those two teams, that's scary.
Yeah, the Jets would be interesting to me, but
the Chiefs more so would be more scarier than the Bills.
Yeah. You give the best quarterback in the NFL top 5 talent in wide receiver. Oh gosh, especially they still have Travis Kelce's still there. Kind of question mark with the rest of the wide receiver room, but as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce.
Well,
is Houston on the clock yet for you?
Not me.
No, not yet.
I'm just now seeing Bryce Young walk up to the stage.
God, that's crazy.
Oh, I'm at least with him in the back room talking on the phone. Hugging.
Yeah, I'm way behind. I'm gonna have to rely on you guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't say they're on the clock yet. I'm assuming they are, though, on the clock. They're just still showing the ticker that...
Yeah.
Because I think it just goes right away. It's not like, we're going to wait a minute and give... I mean, because that's technically giving them more time. But, I mean, in our mock draft, we have the Texans taking C.J. Stroud. Do they want to stick with the quarterback here? I don't know. There's a lot of rumors that C.J. Stroud is something. I mean, we've seen the test scores that were they weren't necessarily not true, but they weren't his official final scores from the way at least it was sounded.
I didn't see him deny that though.
No.
He just said that he's not a test taker. He's a football player. But,
maybe he doesn't even know what he's
he might be an idiot, but that's not the first time.
The pick is in. The Texans' pick is in. That was quick. Or maybe it wasn't quick.
It could be Anderson, though.
It could be. They're on the phone with him right now.
It could be Jalen Carter, for all we know.
Yeah, it probably...
I think the Panthers could actually win it.
Could what?
Could win the division.
They could. I mean...
Thielen doesn't pull his whole leg.
Yeah, I mean, they got DJ Shark, I'm assuming.
I mean, Shark is nothing to be...
No, but they also could... I mean, there's rumors they might trade back later in the first, and they could take a wide receiver if one falls.
That's true.
Or, I mean, if JSN falls, Jackson Smith-Njigba falls, and then that just results in the other receivers getting taken later.
Yep.
The pick is in. Goodell, come on, walk up so we know who this is, because depending on who they take, that starts a lot of fun here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I may not show it on my facial expressions here, but I am excited. I'm trying to watch the draft, pay attention to my TV over here too.
You're not
no,
watching.
That's why
I'm also sitting.
Goodell is talking.
Which is not the best for your Sam.
C.J. Stroud. We're 2 for 2.
All right.
Everyone called us stupid on TikTok, but look at us. We are the smart ones.
No.
I mean,
he might be an idiot, but guess what? There's a lot of dumb.
Well, hold on. Had Houston shown me that they went out and signed a couple veteran quarterbacks, then I would have thought, okay, they're not drafting a quarterback. But they didn't do anything like that.
God, CJ Stroud is hyped up right now. I mean,
Well, I
I
wouldn't
mean,
be.
Texans have a good staff now.
Well,
so-
here, what he has to look forward to is them adding more and more pieces around him. He doesn't have a whole lot to work with there.
I mean,
He has a running back. He doesn't have an offensive line except for Tunsil. But Tunsil's the top 5 tackle, so
He's
that's
I
at
mean,
least a
number
pop.
one if you consider him his pay.
People
People call him the number one left tackle in the
The
league.
defense needs to get younger, but they're on their way there.
They have a few pieces. I mean, they drafted really well for the secondary last year. When you're talking Derek Stingley, maybe not the best corner last year, but still, like, again, he was a dog.
They need edge. I mean, like a lot of teams do, they need edge.
Yeah, and I think
And interior.
I mean,
corners are like the hottest commodity in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think luckily enough the Texans do have the 12th overall pick too, thanks to the Watson trade.
I mean, now that they pick so fast, I think we're going to get the quarterback run now.
Do we see? Well, I mean, we have to see a trade here first. Do we see a team trading?
Unless
here at
they
3?
take Will Anderson.
I think
which-
that's.
It's not ridiculous to see that.
But
But I don't take it if I'm the Cardinals. I move back because they need a lot, in my opinion. And now you have Buda Baker who wants out. So
true. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins. Who knows what that situation could be? I don't like how they don't show the timer the whole time on this because
weird.
it's weird. Maybe they do. They've been doing that. We just don't notice too much. But
Who knows?
I mean, Arizona's the next wild card here. Do they? Paris Johnson is supposedly Kyler's
I'm
pick.
expecting. I'm waiting for the alert on a trade.
I need to probably get some NFL insiders here to see what they're doing. I mean, luckily too, that's. What are you gonna say, Cody?
I think they should trade back, but I don't think they will.
Tackle?
Paris Johnson, Kyler Murray supposedly wants them to take Paris Johnson. That's what the rumors say.
He
I
won't
think
even
it's
use
too
his
early for
lineman
him.
anyway.
I think it's too early for him, but hey.
Maybe. I mean, it's a new GM. I don't know how good they are getting along with Kyler. They do need defense. They lost a lot of defensive players. J.J. Watt, Zach Allen, Byron Murphy. If they feel like Will Anderson's the guy to take, they do. We talking about a trade here. Supposedly Tennessee Titans have been calling all week to try to get moved up to 3.
Yeah.
Currently, C.J. Stroud is showing lots of emotions. Probably from all the doubters saying he's not worth taking this early. So, I mean, good for him. I wonder if he's on the phone saying, "Hey, at 12, take my wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba." I wonder if he's talked to them about that.
And that's possible with them moving, DeAndre. It's possible.
We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of questions about this.
That'd be a great compliment if they
do
go and get him.
Yeah, I mean, they do have John Mechie, too, who did miss last season due to, I believe it was leukemia.
Like Hodgkin's lymphoma or something.
He
which is leukemia.
Oh, well, that shows how much I know about medical things, but I mean, that could be a good pairing. Oh, well, by the way, there's only a minute 49 left on the clock for the Cardinals. So they just now finally showed it.
They're really grinding that trade.
I think they're just trying to mull in offers. They're just sitting there. No one's on the phone in the Cardinals war room. They're just sitting there, not looking happy at all. I'm so confused. Is the pick?
Are they not getting calls?
Are they?
They're probably
you think they're
thinking we
waiting
suck.
for a call? Oh, trade?
Maybe.
Well, Houston Texans. Houston Texans are trading up to number 3 with the Cardinals.
To get Will Anderson.
Oh my gosh.
That or they're getting
The receiver.
Yeah.
Is it too early?
Or they getting tackle, his buddy. Either one of those.
I mean, Paris Johnson, yeah, the Ohio State tackle. Oh my gosh.
You
This
pair
is
him
crazy.
and Tunsil.
So then this
dang.
now this also saves the Colts, because you know the Texans aren't going to take another quarterback. Now the Colts for sure have between Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. So I mean, it's not
Levis.
best case. It's not best case scenario for the Colts, but it's definitely not worst case scenario.
I really warmed up to Levis.
Seattle's taking Richardson. You watch.
Man, I can see it. I can see that or Levis if Colts take Richardson.
I'd be happy with Levis.
Or do the Texans take Gonzalez?
Brett, your screen got dark. Do you have to like tap on it or something?
He's fine to me.
I don't know if it just. Okay, never mind. Maybe it just got darker outside. That's all.
I'll turn the light on in a bit.
No, you're fine. I just didn't know if it was like, because you know your screen sometimes gets darker if like 10%
Yeah.
remaining. So we thinking Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson here or Paris Johnson? That's the 3 we're thinking probably.
I
Or
like the
Njigba.
Or I could see it. I don't know if they'd maybe trade up all the way to 3 for that. I need to start checking what this.
If that's who CJ wants.
That's true. That is very true. I'm assuming they knew Bryce Young was going to be the pick, so they probably have been talking to CJ Stroud, like, hey, if we do, like, who do you want us to take? Like, how great? I'm sure they've talked about how great they're.
Probably Will Anderson. That would be my guess, 100%. But
if that's the situation, I would say his receiver friend.
The pick is.
I mean, that's something I just saw pop up.
Okay,
It looks like Will Anderson.
Here are the terms for the trade. It's number 3 and 105 for the Texans, 12-33, 2024 first and 2024 third.
Wow.
So
The Cardinals won that.
I mean, it depends how this player plays. Maybe if Goodell is talking. But I mean, that is a lot. Plus the 33rd pick, which is second overall in the second. Cardinals can get some guys. The Texans select Will Anderson Jr. We're 3 for 3 on players pick, not necessarily who picked them.
Yeah.
But wow, okay, so things aren't.
That's a good pick.
That is a good pick. Houston not only gets their potential quarterback, but they get a potential defensive key to that team. We just talked about
Which they needed that.
Oh yeah, they're starting to get this Texans team. If CJ Stroud's the guy and everything is turning around quickly. I mean, luckily they do have some extra picks to be, I'm sure, confident in letting some of those picks go.
Or
get a guy
do
like
they
this.
go up again to get one of his homies?
Do they now have the?
Not right
assets?
now. Not right now. In the 9 through 15 range.
Are you?
The Texans signed Case Keenum. I forgot about that.
Oh, they. Hey, so now they have a QB room of Davis Mills, Case Keenum, and CJ Stroud. That's interesting. I wonder if maybe they even trade. I wonder if there's a market now for Davis Mills to be traded.
No.
Like if a team needs. I mean, I'm sure they don't. But Case Keenum is like a pretty reliable backup type player. So do they maybe? I mean,
No, he's the QB coach. Essentially.
According to NFL, Will Anderson's pro comparisons, Khalil Mack. So
Good comparison.
that's a pretty. I mean, that's.
At least his early career.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't graded that high compared to Mac. Mac was graded higher, I think.
What was Mack? He was 5th overall to the Raiders, 4th overall.
No, but the grade.
Oh yeah.
Going by.
Oh yeah. He destroyed the combine. I remember. Like him and Jadeveon Clowney, who was the 1st overall pick that year, instead of Clowney, or not instead of Mack. You can say Mack should have been the first, unless you say the Raiders should have took Derek Carr 1st overall. which you can argue that.
What are the Texans gonna do about receiver?
I mean,
I better hope someone falls late.
yeah, I mean, John Mechie is the only receiver I can think of on that team, and he's
Nico Collins.
Nico Collins. Trade away Brandon Cooks. They do have other picks. They could. I mean, there's some guys who could, go second, third round who can be good. I mean, second, third round is still very playable. Like starter, you should expect to get a starter in those rounds.
Yeah.
So
what's Indiana's clock at?
What's clock as in like what time it is? Because we're at
no
two
Indies like how much they got left.
Oh, I thought you meant Indiana's like time zone. I'm like,
no, I
Indiana's
meant
a time zone state. I don't know. It doesn't show it. I don't like this. I'm sure it does. You're on the NFL app, you said, or NFL.com, and it doesn't show it.
Nope.
What the heck?
Mine does, but I'm also like 5 minutes behind you guys.
What pick is it? Is it Texans? Oh, there's 4 minutes and 15 seconds for the Colts. So in our mock, we went Levis. We're still, I'm sure, good with Levis as our pick.
Yeah.
But we know it's going to be either Levis or Richardson. Oh, the pick is in. As soon as I say it, they must have heard me say it, but the pick is in. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
It'll be Levis because Daddy Peyton said he likes him.
Well, yeah. Supposedly, Will Levis has the seal of approval from all the Mannings. I don't know how much they asked Arch.
I mean, I really warmed up to him because really he's in a bad situation over there anyways. He had a defensive mind coach, horrid receivers. I know Richardson has the same position, but
not to mention
his are even worse.
Yep.
Not to also mention that he had like broken ribs since week 3.
Yeah.
So
now everyone's gonna want the Texans in Madden.
And a couple of his really bad interceptions were screens, repeat screens.
Drops.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he couldn't change it, obviously.
Yeah. I think no matter which one they take, I think they'll be okay. I mean, I don't want to compare Anthony Richardson to Jalen Hurts, but they have in some ways similar physical playing when you talk about being able to run. And I mean, when you're talking about Shane Steichen coming from the Eagles with Hurts, I think that could work.
Let's throw this out there. So the Colts pick Richardson, but I don't think Seattle picks Levis.
No. Probably not.
I
the
know
pick's in for Indy.
Yeah, the pick has been in for a minute. I don't know what's taking Goodell's so long to walk. What was it?
Someone beat him up.
In 2021, the year after his basement draft, didn't he still have his chair there? And he's like, he had other people do the selection, so like he just pretty much chilled most of the day. He's like, I want to do this again for another year.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
I have a bad memory now.
That was. I mean, if you're talking about important drafts for the Bears, that was a pretty important one, considering them trading up for Justin Fields, who, this has to be his year if he wants to be anything. Oh, Goodell is now walking up to the podium. I'm just switching ears real quick. My ears starting to bother me. But Cody, are you ready? You ready to hear who they drafted?
No, not really.
Anthony Richardson. It's official.
Damn.
So our mock draft is now completely broken. We are not 4 for 4 for picks. I mean, we're still 4 for 4 for positions.
I like it because you'll fit the offense more. But
with the coordinator.
Yeah, he has the higher floor, which is nice, but
higher floor, higher ceiling.
He's the biggest, higher ceiling.
I was just more making clear.
But
he has he's the biggest.
Yeah, he's the biggest gamble.
I mean, yeah,
He's played 13 games.
That just threw Seattle off their game.
Maybe. I mean, if they are as big on Richardson as you think they are, I mean, luckily enough,
I think they go corner now.
Chris, you think Witherspoon or Gonzalez?
Probably. Hold on.
I think they go Carter.
Carter, I think, is a big play at this point. I don't know. I mean, I could honestly see Jalen Carter fall, like past the Bears. He could fall for a while because we don't know how much these teams are like.
That's what. Sorry.
But Seattle likes them kind of guys.
Yeah, but how many of them already have been arrested before getting there versus... I mean, if anyone would like him the most, it's what? I believe the Vikings actually have the most arrests of all NFL teams over the last several years. But, I mean, we always think about the Raiders, too. The Raiders have the most notable arrests.
Bengals.
I mean, yeah, now with Joe Mixon question marks going around, which is why I think they could maybe take one of the running backs in either Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson. If Bijan Robinson's still there, that I mean, if we want to talk about him real quick, that's a guy we could probably see going anywhere between honestly now and late first. Like, we don't know how teams are valuing him because he is a great running back and a great player overall. He can, you know, he can be an easy part of the passing game, but
yeah,
we don't know how teams are going to value him, especially since like running backs, even great running backs, don't get the value they need to. I mean, Saquon franchise tagged, and he's felt disrespected from the Giants because of kind of how contract talks and what supposedly. Obviously, we are not in the room, we don't know, but it's.
Any updates? Because you're the fastest.
No. Oh, they finally put Seattle on it, but it's not showing. 4 minutes. 4 minutes 15.
Yeah, Richardson's the first player to cry.
No, C.J. Stroud also cried.
Oh, I just saw him happy and yelling.
Well, it looks like my Aunt Jennifer has a better bracket than, or not bracket, but mock draft. She said she picked Richardson, so I guess we gotta step our game up. If not saying, but something I want to ask real quick: does Seattle maybe trade out? I mean, they have a pick 20, but do they say, hey, like, do they go for more picks? Like, that could be a team that could add a lot of great talent in this draft and to be, I mean, divisional winners for a long time, depending on how Geno goes.
Talking about who, Seattle?
Yes. Like, do you think they could trade? I mean, I don't. Now, does a team like Tennessee be like, all right, Will Levis is our guy. Like, let's trade up to 5, which was a lot cheaper versus 3. So
NFL comparison to Richardson's Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick?
I'd say more Newton.
Yeah, especially since...
Especially his size.
And the fact Richardson has even came out and said he's modeled his game, I think, over Richardson. I mean, Kaepernick isn't a bad comparison, I would say, but, you know...
No.
But, I mean, but they're both... I would say Kaepernick...
Unless he burns out as fast as him.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
Without, I mean, getting into any of the other stuff with Kaepernick, but... I mean, both had big arm. I mean, Cam Newton also had a quick burnout, too.
Seattle's pick's got to be in, right?
Nope, 2 minutes left. Oh, I forgot they added Julian Love. Notre Dame alum. Shout out.
Yeah. The, corner turned safety on the Giants?
Yep. Always got to give the shout out to guys from Notre Dame. Love them. Speaking of Notre Dame, we might see one of their players go, at least one of their players go. There's a defensive end that could potentially also go in the first round, late first round, depending on how teams are valuing defensive edge rushers. We might not see him till day 2, but Michael Mayer, one of the top tight ends in this draft. There's a lot of good tight ends in this draft. Feels like it's been a minute since we said multiple good tight ends. I know There wasn't a tight end that went last year in the first that I can remember. No, the first tight end that went was McBride from Arizona in the second round. But before that, Kyle Pitts was only the one talked about. I believe that T.J. Hawkinson the year before, if I'm remembering correctly, was a... I can't remember 100%, but I mean, this is a really good tight end group when you're talking about Michael Mayer.
They got to be down to like 30 seconds, huh? Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's 55 seconds. Oh, the pick is in as soon as you say it. So no trade. Let's check Twitter to see if any other teams are.
I'm saying Carter.
Dang, I keep missing the.
It seems as though there were mulling trades because it said Ian Rappaport, I guess 30 seconds ago, said are actually making the pick. So it looks like they were trying to trade. That's probably what took so long, which makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, he said the phones are ringing in Seattle. So I don't know. Maybe a team was trying to get him, but this...
It's Will Levis. That's why.
That would be... you think the Seahawks are, or you think...
No, I think that's the calls they were getting.
Probably. Tennessee, probably. Maybe Las Vegas, almost called them Oakland, but, I mean, I don't think they take a quarterback, but that seems like a team that, in the mix that could trade up. Washington, they say they're big on Sam Howell, but... Unless he had freakishly good practice, like we saw.
Who knows? Yeah.
Mahomes, who knows?
We'll keep us posted.
It's a commercial right now. I'm assuming once they're back from commercial, though.
I just can't see them drafting.
Oh, I just saw it on Twitter. Twitter just ruined it. Dang it! We're right about a certain position early. We said they'll take.
Corner.
Yep, take a guess which one.
I knew it.
Witherspoon.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's not official, but because I haven't seen Goodell, but I'm assuming Twitter or my cable is at least a minute behind real life. So I believe it. So Devin Witherspoon, the first corner taken off. I'm going to assume. I kind of want to wait until I see Roger Goodell's lips say it, but I'm going to... So now that leaves Jalen... I mean, if that's true, that's Jalen Carter for the Lions? Or
Gonzalez.
Or Gonzalez. Or do they take a quarterback? Do they like Will Levis?
I don't think they expected Will Levis to be there right
maybe.
I don't think the Lions take quarterback at all.
Okay, Goodell's finally... Seahawks select Devin Witherspoon. Okay, I believed it, but now it's official for at least my ears. So, Devin Witherspoon, first corner taken out of Illinois. So of all the corners, I've heard the most out of him. He's while Gonzalez is maybe the more athletic guy. I think he's 6'3", a great zone corner. Devin Witherspoon's more of a guy who can do it all. So I think, adding him to the mix with Tariq Woolen at corner, not to mention they have another pick at 20 where they can go take an edge rusher, which defense, they have added a lot to that defensive line, and I think they probably maybe should add a little bit more. Or, hey, receiver could be in the mix too. I know they have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, but I would not sleep on them taking a receiver too.
I don't think in the first round.
I mean, it depends who's there at 20. If Jackson Smith-Njigba is there at 20, but then again, we could say that for maybe all the teams in the top 10. Like, they should maybe take Njigba, or JSN, as I should probably call him, so I save some lung capacity, but...
Well, this has been exciting so far. Some things we didn't expect. All right, well, I'm going to step away. I'm going to go use the little boys' room, and then...
You do that. Hopefully you get back. I'm sure you'll be back before the Lions pick, unless it's traded. Then
I have my phone with me.
Okay, we'll keep you updated when you get back. yeah, I know you just replied to that comment, Cody, but we got a comment saying, I know nothing about what you football fanatics are talking about, but I enjoy the dialogue. Great job, thank you. I'm glad someone thinks we're doing something right. But I like what Seattle is building right now. I think especially considering we don't know when, if Brock Purdy's, like, we don't know what's going to happen with Brock Purdy. He might not play till halfway through the season, or at least he's going to be rusty early because he's not getting some of the summer practice. But I think Seattle has a really good chance of winning the division this year. What do you think, Cody?
Yeah. They were solid last year. If Gino plays like he did last year, and they build on that defense. They obviously got Witherspoon, so he's a good prospect. So they're putting all their pieces in place.
People also forget too. Jamal Adams will be back and healthy next year. He didn't play at all last year.
Yeah.
They went and signed Bobby Wagner to come back, who he's not the same old Bobby Wagner, but he still had a pretty good season last year, so we can expect him to play good defense, especially since they're adding a lot of pieces that, God, I'm not saying it's Legion of Boom like in Seattle, but that defense should be top 10, top 15, depending on if they get an edge rusher too.
Yeah. Jamal Adams kind of sucks covering, but he's a good when they blitz.
I'm pretty sure 2 years ago he led their team in sacks. Which I can't say anything because Jaquan Brisker led the Bears in sacks. But
he had that one insane interception, though.
Yeah, I mean, he could be a guy, though, that, especially since they went and got Julian Love, they have, I'm blanking on his name right now, the other safety they have that is a Pro Bowl safety. But so they have some flexibility at a lot of positions. I think Seattle's probably, if I had to rank teams on best off seasons, at this exact point, obviously... Oh, trade! Arizona Cardinals are back on the clock. The Lions and Cardinals traded, so I'm assuming it's going to be a deal involving the 12th overall pick, because that's the best thing. Or they also have 8... So the Lions will probably now be at 12 and 18. Let's see if I can find some details on that. But who would Arizona... Paris Johnson. This has to be Paris Johnson. Dang it! I'm just going to say this right now.
Yeah, they're losing their number one. So they got to replace them.
I am not saying people to bet, but I put a little bit of money on Bears to draft Paris Johnson, so it looks like I am about to lose 50 cents.
You're going bankrupt?
Oh, yes. 50 cents. It wasn't big odds anyway. I think I was going to end up winning like $3, but oh well. You know, it's 50 cents. I think I can live without the 50 cents. But I'm looking on Twitter right now to see if we can get some details on what the trade is, but no one's saying anything quite yet. So, but now, yeah, the Cardinals are on the clock. They have 2 minutes. We can assume Paris Johnson. Anyone else we think they maybe take? Tyree Wilson, Christian Gonzalez, the other corner. I mean, I don't know. It feels like you trade up for a tackle, and we know it's rumored that Paris Johnson is Kyler's guy, or not Kyler's guy, but who Kyler wants them to take.
Yeah, I could see them going for a tackle.
Which
probably Paris Johnson, but
it kind of sucks for the Bears because that limits.
Seems awful early.
It does, but at the same
For
time,
them, they could have stayed where they were.
For Paris Johnson at 12?
Or not for him, but they could have still gotten a quality tackle.
Probably. It all depends how they value the guys. Because if they...
I think if they traded up this high, it's Smith-Njigba.
According to Daniel Jeremiah's best available, Bijan Robinson, Tyree Wilson, Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter, do they trade? Does a team trade up for Jalen Carter? That'd be funny if they took Will Levis. But you know, I want to see what these details.
That'd be
are.
ridiculous if they just paid the little man a bunch of money.
I just saw someone say it's Johnson, but I don't know if it's an official person. I need to stay off Twitter until his pick is out. I want to, because it's going to ruin it for me, but I want to find the details. I saw it. It's Paris Johnson. So now, what? Bears number one guy should be Skronsky. Maybe Darnell Wright, depending on how they value both those guys. But I think Skronsky's the better lineman. Or
I think he's the best. I think he's the best tackle in the draft.
Yes. I just want to.
Actually, he's the left tackle.
Well, he seems like he can play anywhere. But
He can. He's played every position.
yeah, Paris Johnson.
That's why he's graded the highest block.
Paris Johnson was very hyped after his name was called.
Damn, I'm still on commercials.
I guess here's some. It's number 6 for 12 and 34. So not bad for the Lions. Obviously they're probably mulling over a few guys. You don't trade out of that spot if you don't feel like someone.
Well, that is probably best for them to trade back anyways, because they have something going, and a few extra picks will only help them out.
But yeah, now they have what, 12, 18, 34. I believe they have an early no, they have their second, which is 18th overall in the second. Well, technically it's 17th overall if you want to count the fact that Dolphins don't have their first. So that's 4 picks in the top 50, if I'm doing my math right. So they can potentially get 4 top 50 players on a team that when a team's margin of going into the playoffs was this much, that getting a bunch of quality starters to definitely get up the hunch, and maybe I'm not gonna sleep on them. Maybe even taking a quarterback with one of those 4 picks. But now,
Brandon Hooker.
Well, him and Levis. We don't. Where's Levis going to go now?
Vegas. I don't know, honestly.
No.
My thinking was if the Colts didn't take him, Levis is going to fall hard.
It's possible. I mean, we could see Tennessee take Will Levis at 12, like we kind of talked about on the podcast that came out this morning. Like, we think there's more desiring needs for them at this kind of moment in time. I mean, what about Vegas real quick? Christian Gonzalez, Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter, I mean, we just said it. He feels like a Raider kind of guy with legal trouble.
Yeah, so that's the one team I see Levis going to, and then I just don't see him drafting quarterback, though. So
it's tough.
I won't say they should, because they have Garoppolo, and
wow,
they'd be better off.
I saw what happened, but wow, that's crazy. I didn't see the Cardinals doing that.
Did you see what what was traded?
No, I didn't see the package. No.
6 for 12 and 34.
That's not bad.
No, and that gives
Really?
the Lions now 4 picks in the top 50-ish picks. So I'm still worried about the Lions in the division. That's the number one team I'm worried about in the division, especially after the Rodgers trade.
They're gonna run over everyone in the division.
I hope not. But
The Bears should give them a run for their money, but
there's a bunch of booing going on, so I'm assuming either the pick is in and all the Chiefs fans saw that, or Goodell's coming up, but they're showing Paris Johnson's community service stuff he's done. But real quick, apparently Paris Johnson was set to go at 7 from the Raiders, so the Cardinals had to swoop in and trade to get the guy that Kyler wanted. That's what Ian Rappaport just said on NFL Network. So Unfortunate. I mean, that was kind of, I know Brett. We talked the other day. That was kind of our guy for the Bears to take. You weren't here, but I said I put a little bit of money for the Bears to take Paris Johnson. It was only 50 cents, so it doesn't matter. But the Raiders.
I think we might for sure trade. No.
Especially if, I mean, it depends on maybe how they feel about Jalen Carter, how they feel about Skronsky, even Darnell Wright.
What about Gonzalez?
I would be okay with Christian Gonzalez as a pick. I mean, that's not our number one need, but that is a need and a good player.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about getting a team better and a team that was very bad on the defense, I just think part of the problem is we still need to figure out Justin Fields, and we, at least from all the fans, we don't want any excuses. So you have to go on and build onto that offensive line. Also, the Raiders have 2 minutes and 50 seconds left.
They're fielding calls too.
I'm sure they are, probably, but we were kind of talking about this. Will Levis maybe a pick here for the Raiders, not necessarily trading away Jalen Carter, Christian Gonzalez maybe. Now that Paris Johnson's gone and they feel like they really need a tackle, maybe they take Skronsky. Oh, the pick is in, speaking of which.
Bears should go for Skronsky.
I mean, if he's still there, I mean, I could even see Atlanta taking him. I know they kind of brought back a lot of offensive linemen, but that's still a position, maybe not of need, but of get.
Yeah.
I guess you can't go wrong drafting a lineman.
I need to get off Twitter. I keep getting on Twitter to check to see if there's trades, and I'm going to get the pick ruined by me from a... Which, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm going to find out in the next 30 seconds, but I think it's...
You find out before us, so...
Well, no matter what, I'm going to find out before you guys, because you guys have delayed stuff, but...
Especially Carter.
What? You think
Carter? Going to the Bears.
Oh.
The Raiders, I honestly don't know now.
I could see them. I mean, I kind of joked about it, but he does fit the MO about legal troubles in the Raiders, but... This is where we start to see a lot of teams that could take a lot of different positions. So far, we kind of cut it down.
You know who's going to take Njigba?
Who?
Sorry, the Falcons.
I could see it. Pair him with Drake London, Kyle Pitts. Give Desmond Ridder. I mean, hey, it seems like they like Desmond Ridder, and they also went and paid Taylor Heineke a decent amount of money to be a backup / potential starter a couple games, but don't sleep on Levis. I'm probably going to say that for every pick other than the Bears pick until he's drafted. So.
And Philly.
Now they can play him at wide receiver. They can play Will Levis at wide, do some double passes. But God, I feel like this pick has been in for a while, and Goodell's not walking.
What's the time clock?
The pick has been in for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, the pick's in. So okay.
Yeah, there's still 3 minutes on the clock for me. So.
Well, it should be the pick is in the next 15 to 20 seconds, if not sooner. There now we see the great Roger Goodell coming to the screen. He's about to talk. 7th overall pick. The Raiders select Tyree Wilson. Okay. So people were worried about his medicals, and he was potentially dropping. That's maybe why we saw a couple teams trade out and didn't want to take him. So now they get an edge rusher to go along with Max Crosby and Chandler Jones.
That's an pick for me, but...
No, but he's a guy that has the physical traits to be a very great defensive end in the league, and now you get Max Crosby and Chandler Jones as your mentors. Like,
if you're Atlanta, how do you not take Will Levis?
Well, it's kind of like what I just talked. They seem to be high on Desmond Ridder and also have Taylor Heineke, who they gave decent money to. I mean, like Cody just said, they could. I mean,
The Panthers just went and got Bryce Young. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I could definitely see it. I mean, Jackson Smith-Njigba. From now on, if you hear me say Jackson Smith-Njigba, or if you hear me say JSN, that's who I mean. I'm tired of saying that. But JSN, that's where you could even take Bijan. Ooh, Tyree Wilson just gave Roger Goodell a big old bear hug. Picked him up. Haven't seen that in a little while, but God, there's a lot of boos, partially because it is a Raiders pick. But Falcons, I mean, I believe in our mock we have Bijan Robinson being their pick, but it's kind of like what we just said about the Raiders. This could go a lot of different directions. I mean, they could even go Christian Gonzalez. I know they traded for Jeff Okudah, but I think you don't give up a late round pick and expect Jeff Okudah to be the game-changing DB. They went and got a bunch of interior defensive linemen too.
Different systems, different schemes.
Yeah,
they might still go Robinson.
They could. I could see them going Christian Gonzalez. The potential.
Just think the running back market right now is not worth drafting top 10 running back. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, Falcons like to run the ball.
Normally not, but he's pretty damn good.
I mean, Bijan's NFL comparison, Saquon, and while Saquon has had injury troubles, when he is on the field, he is a game changer, and no matter how well Daniel Jones played this year, if Saquon wasn't there, it would have been a completely different. I mean, you can say that for a lot of situations, but it seems like Saquon, I mean, easily Saquon's a big part of that game, or that team, but...
Do we have a pick in yet, or no?
Nope, not yet. They just went to commercial, so... It's going to be a minute. Oh, the pick is in as soon as I say it. So I guess they're probably going to do their commercials, and then as soon as the commercials are over, probably be back.
It's Levis.
That was maybe it wasn't quick. I mean, I don't think they take Carter. They went and signed a bunch of defensive ends.
Look how quick in a way they took it compared to others. It has to be Levis.
They also have Calais Campbell. I just want to put that in there because, I mean, that's a veteran presence on the defensive line. Nolan Smith, I mean, he's a Georgia prospect.
This would be really early for him.
But with the top two defensive linemen gone...
This would be a Ryan Pace pick.
Guess who's a part of that organization?
Miles Murphy.
No.
Maybe. I mean, he's kind of in the same boat as Nolan Smith. Is it maybe too early for Miles Murphy? But yeah, Ryan Pace is a part of the Falcons organization. I don't know if you knew that. He's not the general manager, but he's pretty high. But no,
think about it. Athleticism was always his big thing. Shane McClellan, Leonard Floyd.
Yeah.
Kyle Long.
Physical dudes. Or versatile.
Kevin White. He looked at what their in like the physical attributes were.
Mitch Trubisky.
Like their yeah.
Were those his only first round picks? Because I'm pretty sure Fuller was. Fuller was his first pick.
I still think Mitch never got a fair shake, but it's too late in his career now to fix it.
Him and Allen Robinson are paired back again on the Steelers. I'm sure they'll have pretty good preseason games together.
Yeah, but there's no way he's winning that job back unless dude gets hurt.
No, but I mean Mitch Trubisky has shown himself to be probably.
Who knows? Maybe Mitch Trubisky's the next Geno Smith.
Maybe. Honestly, but Mitch is probably one of the top premier backups in the league, I would say.
Because to me, look what the Bears. The Bears didn't even have their best defense that they've had in years, and it still took them to the playoffs.
I don't.
2018. Are you calling 2018 not one of the best Bears defenses when it literally broke records. No comment, Brett?
No comment.
Okay, what were you going to say, Cody?
I was just gonna say, Bears quarterbacks have never really, they haven't really gotten fair shakes at all. Like
Nope.
Cutler, the biggest example.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if Cutler came out in this draft right now, intangibles, he would have been picked already. Or,
I mean, that was even one of the debates when Cutler was coming out of Vanderbilt. Like
because Cutler's arm blows anybody in this draft out of the water.
And
I
Cutler
think it was his attitude that people hated.
You mean the nonchalant, just blase?
But did he
I
have
blame that on
college?
I blame it on diabetes.
No,
On diabetes. That's why.
Bears turned him into that.
No.
I was gonna say, like, I'm no doctor, but that doesn't seem.
Yeah,
like
but you have to. He never got an offensive line.
No.
Never.
No, everything was his fault on that team.
For the longest
Like,
time,
but
his
hold
best
on.
receiver was Devin Hester, a moved corner.
Forte was
I
his
know
best
he's a first. Yeah. The pick is in by the, or Goodell's at the stadium with some people. I think they're about to do a. Oh. What? Did I just? It sounded like the Bears and Eagles swapped firsts. I think they just said that. But they can't say it. Goodell's at the podium.
I got
right
no
now.
alerts.
So Big Brothers Big Sisters of America is doing, I think, something, and someone's about to announce the Falcons pick.
All right, since you're ahead of me, I'm gonna go to my trusty website that I'm not gonna advertise.
But won't that still be behind because it's a digital live stream?
No, I'm not watching it.
Don't.
I'm looking for the.
What, Twitter? Are you just going on
No,
Twitter?
I'm not doing that. Twitter's cheating.
Then how is what you're doing not cheating?
Because I'm not looking for a pick. I'm looking for the Bears trade.
Oh, okay.
If it's...
But you're going to find the pick.
Did you ever put the TikTok thing you said you were going to do?
Bijan Robinson, Atlanta. Oh, did I think I did.
I knew it.
So, did it not? I thought I posted it. Did it not post?
I don't know. I haven't been on.
It says it's
I
in
just
draft
asked
still.
him.
I thought I hit post.
You can. It's probably fine if you post it.
Yeah,
now.
someone just said in one of my groups, like for Madden League, that the Eagles did trade with the Bears. I don't know. They didn't show anything.
So, oh God, are we about to be screwed over from Paris Johnson and Skoronski? Or do the Eagles trade up for Jalen Carter?
Or did they straight up for Gonzalez?
I feel like you don't trade up for Gonzalez. Like everyone, supposedly every
Why?
NFL team. Well, it seems like every NFL team's rumor has it they all think the Bears are taking Carter. So if Ryan Poles is using that to trade with the Eagles for them to take Carter and get a couple extra picks, what if there's no way they get 30 out
or
of
they
this,
got panicked because they really need. Okay, you got Darius Slay, who's I would say still an elite corner in this league, but the other guys, they're both old. They don't have any young. They have nobody young to do anything in the corners there.
Yeah.
They don't. They really don't. If you look at the roster, they do not have like a guy who could develop. And when you have a Darius Slay, Darius Slay seems to me like a Charles Tillman type, where very quiet.
So, real quick, I went on Twitter to look for the details of the trade, and instead I found who the Eagles are taking. Just take a guess. I'll give you a hint. It's who I said they're taking.
Carter?
Yep, Jalen Carter.
Well, what do
that
we
makes
get?
sense.
They lost Javon Hargrave. They needed another guy, Jordan Davis, who was teammates with Jalen Carter 2 years ago for their first national championship game they won from back to back.
It might be Fletcher. Well, they'll keep Fletcher Cox for one more year.
Yeah. But I want to know what the Bears got in this trade. I mean, it's only one pick, but I wonder if they paired maybe a second or something for them to get 30 and the Bears have 2 firsts. That's what I want to know. Because if the Bears have 2 firsts, I don't know. I'm already sweating. I don't know what else I'll do.
Why is there nothing on this trade?
I don't. 10th and a 4th round pick. We got a 4th round pick. That's still picks, which is weird because the Bears also traded.
Hold on, we might move again. This is like a draft day scenario. This is Kevin Costner in charge of the Bears right now.
As long as still, hey, Vontae Mack, no matter what. Neither of you saw the movie, have you? You don't get the reference. No.
I don't remember their names, no, but I get the reference.
Chadwick Boseman played. Supposedly, or not supposedly, that was one of the top players that Kevin Costner's team wanted to take, and he literally had a post-it note the whole time that said Vontae Mack no matter what. So who's our Vontae Mack?
No, I think the Bears move again. They have to.
They do. Well,
and by the way, I think you're gonna get your wish.
Who
Robbie Gould, Bears.
Maybe. I mean.
No, I'm hearing that Cairo is.
Maybe we'll take a kicker in the first round.
I'm leaving. You'll see me say goodbye to you, and
you'll see me say goodbye as a Bears fan.
Well, first of all,
I don't even know who the kickers are.
In the defense of the Raiders, he is one of the best kickers of all time.
He is, but I believe they also could.
Okay, timeout. You're telling me, okay, not a top. If it was a 15 through 30 first round pick, and you could, knowing what you know now, and it could be an Adam Vinatieri or
Justin
oh
Tucker.
my God. No. The other one Brady played with too.
Gostkowski? Steven Gostkowski?
Yeah. No. Is that it?
The mid 2010s, yeah.
Let's just say the one. You're telling me you wouldn't take him, knowing what you know
round?
now?
No. Unless he's able to kick consistently 60-yard field goals, I'm not taking a kicker in the first round.
Fine, Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker misses 60-something yard field goals, so
I know.
You can't hit them consistently, even though he's the best kicker of all time. I still wouldn't take him in the first round. Hey, Kevin Durant congratulated Bijan Robinson on Twitter, I guess.
Or who was the Colts kicker before Vinatieri came?
Vandercheck?
Yeah, Manny hated him.
But what I was trying to say is
Called him an idiot.
So the Bears swapped with the Eagles and got a fourth round pick. This isn't the first time the Bears traded with the Eagles and got a 4th round pick. Traded Robert Quinn for a 4th round pick.
Yep.
Also, it is worth noting, too, that Ian Cunningham, the Bears assistant GM, was in the Eagles front office before he was part of the Bears.
Which gives them an in.
Yeah, so they probably have good connections on why they've done now 2 trades with them in the last year. Also, just real quick, they're just now announcing the Eagles pick.
Is this too close?
A little bit. But Jalen Carter was officially finally taken. This is what the Lions have in draft picks in the first 2 rounds. Number 12, number 18, number 34, number 48, and number 55. I am scared. That is 5 potential really good starters.
Another reason why we trade again.
And a reason for them to be like, okay, excuse me, they can take a quarterback with one of those picks. They have the ammunition.
Yeah.
Back to the
Bears are on the clock, by the way. I need to go on Twitter. I'm going to see the pick. Yeah, talk about Robinson.
Did you see who they're comparing him to?
Is it not Saquon?
Adrian James.
Oh. Also, I did
Which
find a
is
post
still,
on TikTok. I don't know what took it so long to post.
I mean, right now it's a better. He's a better player than Saquon is if you go by career. Saquon's one of the most gifted running backs I've seen in a long time.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
he just got unlucky with the team.
Injuries.
Yeah, well, they put him
Sometimes-
in horrible situations.
Oh yeah.
The more put it this way, the more we move back in the first, I see Chase Young joining the Chicago Bears.
I would be okay with that. I mean, the Bears haven't. The last I've seen, the Bears have not made a trade yet. So the Bears are on the clock. Skronsky? It has to be Skronsky. Now that Carter's gone. Now that all the other defensive players you would take this early are gone. It has to be Skronsky. Or Darnell Wright. Those are the two players I think or Jackson Smith-Njigba if you really want to be like give Bears all or give Fields all the weapons, but it has to be one of those two linemen.
Did they go Carter?
Jalen Carter was taken to the Eagles.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Well,
I'm just surprised Bears.
Goodell and Jalen Carter just did like a handshake, like a pre-planned.
I don't
handshake.
understand why the Bears would pass on him. We need it.
I mean, it's a high caliber player, but it's also a very high risk player. Jalen Carter's pro comparison is Quinion Williams from the New York Jets. That's a pretty good comparison.
Yeah.
Another player that I would love. There's a lot of 3-tech guys that were supposedly on the trade market that weren't on the trade market when you talk about Jeffrey Simmons, talking about Buckner, DeForest Buckner. I don't know why I was blanking on his
How
name.
much time's on the clock for you?
It's not showing me the clock. Still not doing it.
I think they should definitely go after Skronsky because that's definitely a player they need.
It's a player. It's
Someone they can put wherever they want.
Yeah, I mean,
He's like better. Crap, can't think of his name.
even if he plays guard, there you go. That's a really great guard, a potential really great guard. Like,
He's a better Kyle Long.
okay, I mean,
Kyle Long did make 3 Pro Bowls.
and played 2 different
Which
positions at 2 different positions.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He can play 3.
I mean, do you think he can?
Kyle,
Do you think
Kyle
he can
Long
snap?
could have played. Kyle Long could have played center. He just never had to.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, Whitehair was there for a while. Hronis Grasu, who was actually his teammate at Oregon, was the center for a year before.
Grasu actually, before he got hurt, was looking decent.
What was it? For the first half that year, it was Josh Sitton, Grasu, and or was it Slauson or Sitton that year? Matt Slauson or Josh Sitton that year?
Either way, Sitton had a good year for us.
Oh, he went to the Pro Bowl for us. Matt Slauson should have went to the Pro Bowl.
He was so fat though; his belly hung out so much.
Oh yeah. It's kind of weird looking back at those mid-2010 Bears. Like, they had some pretty good guards, albeit maybe for only a year or two, and Kyle Long started getting injury concerns. But Josh Sitton, who is like a Packers all-time offensive lineman.
How much? Any clock update? Nothing.
Still not showing it, and I'm scared to look at Twitter. I will not look at Twitter. I don't want this ruined by some insider. Because
What was his name?
Player?
No, he played for the Texans and Pats. He was a D tackle and his stomach was
Vince
huge.
Wilfork.
Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
You can't-
Couldn't
when
think
they-
of his name. He always wore bibs.
When Houston had the Hard Knocks, he came out in nothing but overalls.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Bob
that's
the
what I was
Builder.
talking about.
Yeah. The pick is in. The Chicago Bears at 10th overall. They moved. Think about that for a second, though. They also got a 4th-round pick on top of what they also got from trading from 1 to 9. I mean, it's a 4th-round pick still, but I mean, depending on who they take here, that's a pretty.
Nolan Smith.
It's got to be offensive lineman.
I don't know. Actually, I'm going Gonzalez.
I would be okay.
They don't like Jalen Johnson for some reason. Just what I hear.
Well, Goodell's talking 10th pick in the NFL draft. Chicago Bears select Darnell Wright. Okay, so they're skipping on Skronsky
Because they want a pure tackle. They don't want a
Darnell Wright is not according to Pro Football Focus, he would if Darnell Wright was to be drafted, which he just was. God, Bears Twitter is going to be very mad. Actually, maybe not, but Skronsky was the worst rated run defender of any offensive tackles ever taken in the first round. I know that only goes back to 2015 or something like that, but keep in mind the Bears ran a lot last year. Obviously, they're trying to pass more, but they took the number one position of need, so I'm okay with that. Darnell Wright could be something. I hope he is something.
I mean, he was rated top 3 with that anyways.
And here's the thing. Everyone sees Darnell Wright as strictly a right tackle. It's not like Skronsky where you can play him at Dover.
But that's what we need anyways.
So this maybe confirms that Braxton Jones stays at left tackle for the year. I know that you could eventually switch them, but
why would you?
If that's the case, they should have taken Skronsky. So I think that's okay. So I think the Bears' offensive line is maybe set.
White hair back at center. Davis and Jenkins guards.
It's still not good. I don't think it's. I still think it could be a lot better, and could have been a lot better. So unless
building an offensive line is the biggest process.
Oh yeah.
Of a team.
Well, the Titans pick is in immediately.
Will Levis.
It has to. Yeah. How quick that was. Unless they're like, oh my God, they skipped on Skronsky and took Skronsky. It has to be one of 3 players: JSN, Skronsky, or Will Levis. If it's any of those other three players, then I'm stupid. Because
my picture's not loading on YouTube now.
Is it? Oh, I see that. Or is it just because you were down for a second, so it's just your blank? It just looks like a blank screen, but it's really just your background. Because it looks like your background. But also, mine's videos. I wouldn't worry about it. But okay, Bears did what they needed to do, take an offensive lineman.
I'm fine with it.
I'm not going to attack it until we see him play on the field for at least a year, or at least half a year.
Yeah.
I'm scared to look at Bears Twitter right now because I know a lot of, from leading up, I know a lot of fans weren't, or a lot of people weren't big on.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm indifferent because the Bears have the worst luck since basically I've been a Bears fan on drafting offensive linemen. Besides Olin Kreutz, but I was a baby. I think.
I mean, Charles Leno in the 7th round isn't a bad pick.
Well, then Braxton Jones too, but I remember the Gabe Karimi. I remember. I liked Kyle Long, but he.
I would call Kyle Long a pass, just above pass, just because of the health reasons. But he got a second contract, so.
But here's the key:
went to 3 Pro Bowls.
The pick we picked him was too high.
Didn't we take him at like 20?
I'm
pretty sure we took him at like 20, early 20s. Because that was the year after. I'm pretty sure that was the year after they went 10-6.
I mean, there's no way we traded.
Kyle Fuller was the pick. So Kyle Fuller was Pace's first. The year after Lovey was fired. Then it was Kyle Long. So it was after they missed out on the playoffs. They went 8-8, missed out on the playoffs by like a game or two. The year they had like one of the highest scoring offenses, I believe.
Yeah.
It was actually, I think, the number 2 scoring offense, but it was also the number 32 ranked defense. So, like a historically bad defense. Like I think they broke Bears records. which normally when we talk about the defense is a good thing, but.
So I think we've probably seen the last of the Bears' moves tonight.
Maybe not. I mean,
Maybe
a team. Maybe they trade for DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know.
See, now I feel like they're doing these commercials to slow the draft down because the draft was moving decent.
Well, the commercials are kind of built in with the timer though.
Yeah,
and again, there is a producer that, all right, we're going to go to commercial, then as soon as we come out of the commercial. Because right now, the pick was coming in as they were going to commercial. So, like, oh, come back. When we come back, it will be the Titans pick. And they've been back on now for a minute. And I don't know, but that pick was in pretty quick after.
Well, here, another team that probably never thought Will Levis would be here.
True.
Yeah, if they go Levis, is Tannehill gone?
Tannehill's gone by this weekend, definitely. Or do
why?
they no,
why wouldn't you keep him?
I guess
Tannehill's at that point in his career.
I mean, this is the last year of his contract, last year of Derrick Henry's contract. I mean,
who's going to trade for him? Maybe somebody who needs him with an injury in the beginning of the season, but
I think they probably get rid of
They're going
either him or Malik Willis. They have to get rid of one of them. But who's going to trade for
no one. He's horrible, but
or you let Malik Willis compete with Will Levis and
I mean, I guess another year, but supposedly from all the rumors, it's that he's not. He's lost all. The front office has lost all faith in Willis. I mean, he wasn't even taken at an early pick to begin with, so.
Yeah. Was he
third round, I think?
Yeah, third round. Yeah.
I know he wasn't the second quarterback taken because I know Desmond Ridder in the third round was the second, so I think shortly after Ridder was taken, Malik Willis was. I remember being confused when the Seahawks didn't take Malik Willis in the second round and got Kenneth Walker. Oh, Goodell's talking. The Titans select Peter Skronsky. So
that's their Taylor Lewan replacement.
Andre Dillard they signed to be. So I mean,
that was their first mock, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, but they also lost Davis to the
and Ben Jones. So now Detroit. Does Detroit take Jackson Smith-Njigba here?
Or did they take Will Levis? I mean, the longer Will Levis keeps dropping, the teams that don't really that have the Jared Goffs, that have even an elite quarterback. Look at the Packers did with Jordan Love. You know what I mean? It happens.
Look at look at the next couple teams up. Detroit, Green Bay, New England, Jets,
dude,
Washington.
Okay.
4 of those 5 teams you could argue.
The problem, as much as I think Green Bay would be the stupidest not to take him, is it would destroy Jordan Love's confidence most likely. Crush it.
Oh, easily.
And then but I don't think you want that. I think you want them to compete, but I don't know.
How funny,
I think Levis is going to fall hard.
It seems like it.
He's the Mitch Trubisky, but people actually learned.
Yeah. He could be something, but...
So, Peter Skronsky's grandfather played for the Packers, so I'm glad the Bears didn't draft him.
Oh.
He grew up a Packers fan, but he's from, Chicago area. Obviously went to.
Well, then why is Rob? Then you shouldn't like Tonyan.
Robert Tonyan was a Bears fan growing up, though.
But he also played on the Packers.
Okay, but he grew up a Bears fan. Is from Chicago. You can't control who drafts you.
So the Skronsky thing that's a mute point.
That's different though, because he grew up a Packers fan. It's one thing to grow up a Bears fan and get drafted by the Packers, but it's another.
But he actually played for the
team. I'm just kind of.
Well,
I don't.
I know. I'm just.
If he's a good player, I want him. He could. he could be Aaron Rodgers' son. If he's going to be the next Aaron Rodgers, I'll take him, even though, you know, I mean, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers. The Lions pick is in right away, too.
And by the way, the Aaron Rodgers trade.
Will Levis looks frustrated. Like, he looks, like, ticked off. But, yeah, the Aaron Rodgers...
Yeah.
You want to talk Aaron Rodgers now or wait a pick? We can talk about it now while the line's going. I mean, we've talked about who we think it might be, but... I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the podcast. Oh, never mind. Roger Goodell's already talking about the Lions
All right.
pick. Jahmyr Gibbs! What? So
Didn't I say they would take a running back?
you did, and I called you crazy. So
Yeah, I honestly didn't think they would either.
well, we think DeAndre Swift is still something.
Hold on, Swift's a bust
But he's still
in theory.
injury concerns make him a bust. Yes. But they went
Yeah,
out and signed
man.
David Montgomery.
Montgomery's.
So instead of being like, we don't trust Jared Goff, let's draft a quarterback, it's, we don't trust Jared Goff, let's bring a three-handed running back room to lead this team. I'm not saying they don't trust Jared Goff, but I'm like, I mean, unless they feel like Jahmyr Gibbs is a really great prospect, which, I mean, he's a great receiver out of the backfield. He kind of reminds me
He is
of
a knife
DeAndre
at the
Swift.
spot.
It's an interesting pick. I mean, we say it's bad now. It could be good later, but it's an interesting pick. We expected Jahmyr Gibbs to go in the first round eventually, but 12th overall?
But they have the picks to do it.
Well, especially since they also have a pick at 18 that you can
Yeah.
maybe argue he could have still been there. New England would maybe be the only team that takes him. But now the Packers are on the clock. Wow, that's
That's probably what they were thinking.
probably. Let's take him now while he's still here.
Because New England's team probably would.
More than likely, I think when they made the trade from 6 to 12, they were thinking maybe one of these defensive guys will still be there. And they weren't. So let's take the number one. But you would think they'd take maybe Jackson Smith-Njigba even. Especially now with Jamison Williams being suspended. So that's going to, make it longer until we finally get to see him, fully on the field. I mean, we know on Ross St. Brown he's good. But...
Waiting for this pick, though, to me, I would love him.
Oh, my God. The Packers are going to take Jackson Smith-Njigba. I just realized he's still available for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of knocks. A lot of mock drafts with them going there.
I mean, I expected if he's still available for them to take him, but we kind of figured either Houston, which originally Houston was at 12, or Tennessee even to maybe take him, depending on how they felt. I mean, we literally said they're going to take either Skronsky or Jackson Smith-Njigba with Tennessee, and they went with the other way.
Yeah.
I think the pick is in. It doesn't say it's in, but the Packers little thing moved. Why do I have a post?
I would rather
Yep, the
be
pick is in.
Levis just because the Packer fans will go nuts because
Bears fans will.
They will. They'll go nuts because the Jordan Love train will be jumped off so hard with Will Levis getting drafted.
Oh yeah, I mean, but think about how funny that would be, where they're in the situation. They were in that Aaron Rodgers situation because they traded up to draft Jordan Love. People forget they also traded up for that. They traded up a couple picks. I believe even the pick after very similar time to when Justin Jefferson was taken. I believe he wasn't available. The best receiver they could have taken at that spot was T. Higgins, which pretty good receiver, but they trade up to get Jordan Love. That starts the whole fiasco with Rodgers and everything. And now for them to, it would be funny if they did it again. Now, Jordan Love's our guy. Nope, Will Levis. We're drafting him in the first round. That would be interesting, but I think they got to take a weapon. If they don't take a weapon, that'd be interesting. But I mean, they could take defense. I mean, I know we talked about this, I think, yesterday. Just us three, but Nolan Smith, I think we mentioned, could be a possible pick here. They do need defense.
The Packers, they've had, and he played with their middle linebacker.
They did, the one who literally could not stay on the field, not because of injuries, but because he kept getting ejected from games. He got ejected from 2 games, and you can argue maybe even cost him a playoff loss because of it, or a playoff to get in the playoffs because of it. But I think it's got to be Njigba here, and then New England. I mean, if they don't take Levis, do we? I mean, it seems like New England has been spurring some stuff about. Like, do you think Will Levis could even go to New England? We don't know.
Who knows?
It's New England. We don't know. Like anything.
I mean, he's been trying to shop Mac Jones.
Supposedly, yeah. That's why.
Which he is trash.
I mean, do we see? I mean, Christian Gonzalez.
I don't
is
think
still
he's
there.
trash, but
I think New England probably takes Christian Gonzalez, if anything. They like their D-backs.
I think, yeah.
That seems like a pick.
Mm,
I mean, Green Bay's pick is in for me.
Yeah, the pick is in. They're just waiting. Ian Rappaport right now is talking about how the Jets were expecting there to still be a tackle available at 15, but it looks like some of the best tackles are. I mean, Broderick Jones. I don't know how well they like him, but that's just the first tackle I could thought of. Is Goodell coming up now? Yes, he is. Goodell is walking to the podium. He's getting booed. Expect nothing less.
All right. Will Levis.
13th pick. The Packers select Lucas Van Ness.
Wow.
see, people are saying we're crazy for drafting him that early.
A lot of people have been negatively saying a lot of stuff about Lucas Van Ness, but he's had some.
If you look at it, it's a Packers type of pick.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about them needing defensive line. We said Nolan Smith, but hey, Lucas Van Ness is he has played well against some elite competition. I mean, he played well against Paris Johnson when they played Ohio State. He played well against Peter Skronsky at Northwestern. Like, actually, I don't know for yeah, they did. So he can play inside, outside. He's a versatile player. I know they kind of like those guys when you look at Rashawn Gary. You good, Cody?
Yeah, my AirPod died.
Oh, okay. It like said you left.
Yeah, to move.
He also, they're showing highlights right now of Lucas Van Ness playing hockey. So he's a multi-sport player. He can do a little bit of everything.
Yep.
He's high motor.
It's a Packers type of player.
Yeah. But now New England, they've supposedly tried trading for DeAndre Hopkins.
Ooh.
Do they take Jackson Smith-Njigba?
Wow.
He's a New England type of I think.
No, I'll leave that on.
I mean, talking about, they like their route runners. The best route runner in this draft is JSN. But New England, it seems like Christian Gonzalez, Nolan Smith, I'm probably going to be saying for a couple picks. Oh, trade! Steelers move up to 14.
Is this Njigba?
I don't know. Deontay Johnson, they like Pickens. They just went and traded for Allen Robinson. I could see it. It seems odd because they also just went and traded Chase
Warner.
Claypool.
I think they go Gonzalez here.
I think it's either Christian Gonzalez or a tackle. Because you also have to think they're trying to trade up in front of the Jets, and there's only maybe a handful of tackles left. I could see this being a tackle or a corner. Which I guess we've been saying for every time the Steelers pick. It's just they traded up to try to beat the Jets to them.
Those are their two biggest needs.
Not only does they move up in front of the Jets, but they also move in front of the Commanders, who is the same situation. Is it going to be a defensive back or a tackle? So, depending on who you're valuing.
Commanders take
Will Levis. Yeah, we're going to be talking about which team to take Will Levis for a while, probably. I mean,
I know.
Do Steelers trade up for draft Will Levis? They don't like Kenny Pickett, even though he played really good.
He did not play very good. Steelers fans will tell you.
I mean, he played good enough to warrant them not to need to.
Or Joey Porter Jr.
He played very similar to Mitch. Other than
Porter.
Mitch did have a couple really bad games.
Yeah, and
So did Pickens.
a lot of people blame the Steelers offensive coordinator, and then they keep the offensive coordinator. So who knows what's going on with that whole situation? I mean, it seemed like Steelers had every excuse. Oh, Najee Harris wasn't fully healthy. You know, he wasn't himself. Like, the pick is in for the Steelers also, by the way. I want to look at what the trade details are, but I'm scared to see what the pick is.
It's going to be Joey Porter.
You saying that, or?
I'm saying that.
Here. I'm going to look at Schefter. Schefter doesn't tweet the picks early. Nope, he hasn't tweeted in 11 minutes, so he's not even posting it.
I don't follow Schefter anymore.
I follow them all.
Follow Rappaport.
I follow them all. Rappaport, Schefter, Peter Schrager.
Schefter, he posts fake stuff. He got through a spell where he just posts fake. He was the worst at it.
Are you sure it wasn't
like
fake Schefter?
During season?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to step away for a bit, help the oldest with some homework issues.
That's fine.
Hey, I'm the math one, and Jesse's
That's fine. You
everything else.
That's kind of like what we agreed on. If you gotta go do something, I'm not gonna hold you here. You know.
I mean, you two don't have other
little ones.
Yeah. Unless Cody made one in California, but
I don't think so. But I'm not seeing any details on what the trade is quite yet. Trying to change the subject, but
it was a joke.
I know.
I didn't break any. If anything, you guys, we got to be more careful about showing these.
Mountain Dews?
You can't copyright.
It's not like we're making money off of this.
I don't think it matters.
Yep, Steelers take Roderick Jones, so they just moved up to try to beat the Jets and Commanders at tackle. So Roderick Jones, tackle out of Georgia, is their pick. So now Jets are probably like, who do we take? Because Rodgers, I mean, they seem to need to take a lineman.
Oh, that's easy for the Jets. You take Gonzalez.
Pair him with Sauce.
Or Njigba.
That makes sense.
They take Gonzalez. That's a shutdown secondary.
That's a top 2 defense, and I'm not talking about number 2.
Yeah, but who becomes the slot corner? Well, they already have their slot. Because
if we're gonna compare Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre didn't know what a nickel defense was. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers doesn't care what their nickel defense is. So I don't know.
I don't think at that time nickel defense didn't matter too much. That's why. No. Now you ask one of these young guys what a 5-2 is. They're gonna be like, what?
What's a bear defense? I'm still not finding trade details on. Also,
it'll make me sad if they got more than the Bears, but.
Fun fact: Larry Borum, who played right tackle for the Bears last year, tweeted "LOL" after the Darnell Wright draft pick, but no one expected him to start this year. Let's be honest. I love him as a person, but
who?
Larry Borum.
What? He's still on the roster.
Yeah, but I think he's like, oh, LOL. They don't expect. They don't want to play me. But everyone and their mother knew that they needed a tackle. And they're talking about moving
but
Braxton Jones.
hold on. He may. Here's the thing. Here's the question: is who moves to center when Whitehair gets hurt a few times?
I mean, what's his name still on the roster, right? Their person.
Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas Patrick is still on the roster. So, I mean, they signed him to be the starter last year. So I'm sure, if anything, Whitehair and Lucas Patrick are probably competing to be the starting center. And if Whitehair loses, that might be a post-June cut during training camp. But Giants the other dumb New Jersey team, the Jets, are on the clock, 5 minutes remaining, and I still have not found trade details.
Oh, maybe they'll piss Aaron Rodgers off and draft Will Levis.
Oh my God, imagine that. Will Levis. Here's the thing. The next pick is Washington. Washington probably didn't expect Will Levis to still be
any
there. Any quarterback top tier. Potentially. Dude, I mean, Will Levis, they keep talking on and on and on about Sam Howell being the guy, but they said that Sam Howell will compete for the number one spot, but I'm sure I have Will Levis on their draft board.
Yeah.
I just want to find the trade details. Why is no one talking about this trade? Okay, nope, never mind. That's not the trade details. Peter Schrager, are you going to talk about the trade details? Nope. Why is no one talking about trade? Okay, here it is. The Patriots and Steelers traded the pick here. The pick here, which was 14th overall, for 17 and 120. So, similar in sense to the Bears and Eagles trade. So, that makes sense. Pick is still not in with 3:30 left. We think is there a tackle you think they could take here? If they have to reach it feels like they might have to reach a little bit if they want to take a tackle, potentially on who we value, or at least people are valuing as potential first-round tackles. I know we talk about Christian Gonzalez to just completely just amaze that defense. They're talking a lot about Justin Smith-Njigba as a potential pick. What would that be? What, Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson,
I think Alan Lazard,
Bill Hardman, and JSN, plus two good tight ends. You got Breece Hall as a running back, but question marks on the offensive line, which is why I feel like they should take an offense. Even if it's potentially a little bit of a reach, they need to take an offensive lineman here if they're going to take anything offensively.
Yeah,
I think Broderick Jones was their guy.
It feels like it.
I don't know what they do.
Anton Harrison, tackle from Oklahoma. Cody. It's a reach, but Cody Mauch from North Dakota State. Maybe a guard instead. I know they took.
Isn't Harrison even a reach?
Yeah. Oh yeah. These. Any tackle is arguably a reach at this point. Taking him. We say he's a reach now, but if they value him.
Yeah.
They're on the phone right now. There's a couple people are on the phones, so I don't know if they're what's going on here in New York. They might maybe trading back. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, they're a lot of people are on different phones. Oh, now we're seeing handshaking, or one person's handshake.
It's interesting because you don't know what they're shaking about. We made our pick or we made a trade.
We made a trade. We made our pick. Oh, we're going to forfeit our first-round pick and let a couple other teams take it. What was it, the Vikings back in the... Oh, yep, now they're all hugging, so I think whatever they did... That looks like a more we drafted versus a we traded type situation.
Yep.
So, the pick is still not in, though, with a minute left. they could have a pick in mind, but if they don't get it to the not the podium, but if they don't get it officially in time. It's been a while though since we've seen a team not get a pick in time. Pick is in.
So the Jets haven't won the East since 2002. Think they will? You guys think they will this year?
I can see it. I mean, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, even having Aaron Rodgers down here last year, still him playing at that level on the Jets would have put them in the playoffs. Now, if they would have won the division, maybe. I think they could. Depends on the Bills. The Bills playing their A game. It depends on. People also forget before Tua kind of missed a couple of those games, they were the team not only in their division, but they were the top team in the AFC for a stretch of games. So if Tua can stay healthy, that Dolphins team. I mean, they also went and got. I forget they got Jalen Ramsey too in a trade. That's a very tough division, so it's hard for me to say one team can win it. I mean, even if we see a Patriots team from like 2 years ago where like they have a competent offense and Mac Jones, maybe goes back to being a replacement Pro Bowl level as he was, they could even make a push. I don't know. I mean, that's 4 teams in that division that could potentially be in that 9 to 10 range winnings. I could see, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me.
Absolutely.
It's hard for me to pick one, but I think the Jets can have a chance to win that division. It's just that's tough. And obviously, we say Patriots could win 10 games and they go and win 4 because who knows with that team. But
yeah, they have a top 5 defense.
They do, and now they seem to have Bill O'Brien, who knows how to call offensive plays instead of Matt Patricia. So,
all right, I will be back.
Okay, yeah, you do that.
Not sure how long, but I'll make it back for the end.
That's fine. Just 1 + 1 = 2. There you go. You don't have to help her.
Yep.
Finish the math.
Do your math wizardry.
This new math sucks.
New math. What? Oh, he straight up left. Okay.
Well, they're always changing.
No,
now.
just turn camera.
Well, keep the camera on because it looks kind of funny. Oh, it looks like there's going to be another. There's a kid at the podium who's hyping everybody up, so it looks like there's going to be another guest pick for this. He's got a little.
John Cena.
He's got a little green tie, green. That's kind of cool. Maybe that's why they took so long. Like, oh, we gotta make sure this kid gets to get a pick. So who are we gonna take? He's very hyped up to do this. I mean, I would too if I were him. Oh, this is for Make-A-Wish. Okay, that's great. I love when the NFL does stuff like that. Like some later picks they let sometimes legends, but win the first round because the first round's always Goodell. So it's nice when they get other people in there. So who's the Jets gonna pick, little kid?
I hate them. I'm so behind. Said that like 5 times. But...
I mean, to be fair, even I'm behind because there's people on Twitter that already know.
Yeah, well, very hard.
All right, what's it gonna be? I mean, this is pretty much the halfway point too of the draft.
It's only halfway away.
Oh,
10 o'clock my time.
Yeah, it is. Dang.
I'm used to Central Time.
A linebacker? Oh, no, never mind. It's an edge rusher, so never mind. Will McDonald out of Iowa State.
I almost suggested that in the latest.
Yeah, he's a great defense player. There's a lot of good, kind of his, maybe not level, but a lot of great.
Yeah, maybe not him specifically. I don't remember. But.
I mean, out of Iowa State, another Iowa-produced college defensive end. With Lucas Van Ness went to Iowa, but I mean, that's kind of the direction we were thinking they would go if they don't take tackle. Defense. I know Sauce or not Sauce, but Ahmad or not, that's Sauce Gardner's first name, but Christian Gonzalez could have been a potential pick, but I feel like, getting another edge rusher is probably more of a need than a corner, so I think that's a very good fit for them. Continue to add to a great defense, and they obviously feel like there was no offensive tackles to take at that point. But now, here's where things are interesting. The Washington Commanders. Whoa, he just jumped over a car. Will McDonald just jumped over a car. So he's
Ronald McDonald.
he just did a backflip. Wow. Okay, so they got themselves an athletic dude. He just dunked a basketball. This dude picked the wrong sport. He just jumped over an SUV. I mean, to be fair, he had to do kind of like the side like pickup, but he jumped over it still. But now we're talking Washington. I don't think they're going to take JSN. They have plenty of receivers. Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin. I mean, Will Levis. We can continue to talk about
or
Christian Gonzalez.
or
Oh, the pick is in. The pick is already in. They knew who they wanted.
I would say Banks, but
I mean,
Gonzalez is over him.
I would assume Christian Gonzalez over him.
Which Banks, I think he's a little underrated, but
That's kind of how a lot of these these corners kind of feel at this point. But I mean, also too, a lot of these DBs kind of are different in ways when you think of coverage versus man corners. I mean, that's supposedly why Sauce Gardner is glad he didn't go to the Texans. I listened to an interview with him recently where, it seemed like it was going to be either Houston or the Jets that took Sauce Gardner last year in the draft, and Houston plays a lot more zone versus Jets who are much more of a man team, and Sauce even said that I'm glad I went here versus there because I played better in man, and as we saw, he was not only the best man corner last year, but arguably the best corner in all of the NFL. So
yeah, the organization has a brighter, sooner future.
Mm-hmm. So
Or
we could see a corner go here. I mean, offensive line should be something we think of. I mean, maybe we see the first guard go off the board. Osiris Torrance is arguably the best, interior lineman to take. I'm going to keep saying Will Levis, and I'm going to say him for the next, let's see. Up until the Chargers pick, I'm going to say, why not Will Levis? Because New England, you can argue it. Detroit, argue it. Tampa Bay, definitely argue it. Seattle, can argue it. But Chargers, obviously, you can't argue it. Which, now thinking, I think one of these teams will probably take Jackson Smith-Njigba, but imagine if he falls to the Chargers. That'd be something.
yeah, we had our third receiver going then.
Yeah, or I think in our second mock draft he was the second. But in our first one we had
Addison.
Quentin Johnston was the first receiver or the second receiver in our first mock, but New England can take a wide receiver. I think they might take a receiver. Detroit could take a wide receiver. Tampa, you can argue, but I think there's definitely more pressing needs considering they have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans still. So, even Seattle, you can defend, could take a receiver.
Yeah, what? Marvin Harrison Jr., was he a junior this year, or was he a sophomore?
I believe a sophomore. Yes, he was a sophomore, I believe. So he will be eligible next year, which everyone now is talking that he's going to be amazing. When people talk about the Ohio State receiver room from last year, that had Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Marvin Harrison, all of those receivers the wide receiver coach for Ohio State, who is Brian Hartline, a longtime NFL wide receiver, they all say Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best of all of those. So he right now is
as good as his day.
So I think Marvin Harrison Sr. has even said he's better. He can be better than him. So I mean, obviously he's going to say that it's his team.
I mean, I would say that if I'm like it.
Yeah, but right now he is someone that a lot of NFL fans are wanting their team to take next year. That's one of. I mean, it's him, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Goodell is currently at the podium saying who the Washington Commanders take, and they take Emmanuel Forbes. Okay. So we were kind of right about them taking the DB. Christian Gonzalez now is falling, but Emmanuel Forbes, who I know Peter Schrager said.
I would never guess.
So I know insider Peter Schrager said this a couple times, but he is a guy supposedly a lot of NFL teams are a big fan of. The only question is his size. He's 5'10", 160 pounds, but fast, very great instincts. You worry about the physical build, but sometimes you just go for the guys who are great players and worry about the size later. I mean, we can look at that right now with the first overall pick, Bryce Young. Like, size is a worry, but we know how great of a player he is. I mean,
yeah, I'm just surprised they didn't go for Banks or Porter.
Yeah,
that pay.
Or even Christian Gonzalez. I mean, that's the great the great thing about this draft is there's a lot of great defensive backs, especially at the corner position. So, right away the Patriots pick is in. So, one of three, either Will Levis, Christian Gonzalez, or Jackson Smith-Njigba, or are we hyping Christian Gonzalez up too much and it's a different DB? Or they don't take a DB. If anything, they probably take a safety over a corner in Brian Branch. This could be a spot where we start to talk about Brian Branch. Devin McCourty retires.
Yeah.
They need to fill that position.
I think Good and Brian Branch could actually go to the Jags too.
Yeah, but the problem is Jags are 6 picks away. So
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the next team I see going for safety, other than the Cowboys, which the Cowboys are 2 picks after the Jags.
Yep. But Roger Goodell quickly is on the podium. Or not on it, but next to it. He's not standing there dancing or something. The Patriots select Christian Gonzalez. Okay. So he finally goes, maybe a little bit lighter than he expected, but they get themselves a physical corner. I mean, we're talking, I guess he's not 6'3". I don't know why he's 6'3", but 6'1" and 3/8 is still a pretty tall corner. Ran a 4.38 40. He's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Versatile, which in a Bill Belichick defense is something they, really like to have. So I think this is a good pick. I mean, you can say they maybe could have taken Jackson Smith-Njigba to go along with Juju Smith-Schuster they picked up.
So Emmanuel Forbes is 6 foot, 160 pounds, 66 pounds.
I thought he was like 5. Yeah. I thought he was shorter, but hey, you can bulk him up. That's fine.
He's tall and lengthy, like really skinny.
Yeah,
so they'll probably they see some in him. They're probably gonna bulk him up a little bit, healthy.
So now for the third time today, the Detroit Lions are on the clock. Obviously, they traded from 6 to 12, and they took Jahmyr Gibbs by the surprise of a lot of people. So now, we thought they would maybe take defense with that pick. Now seems like a good time for them to take a defensive lineman, Nolan Smith. Elijah Cansey, don't maybe sleep on him to be taken around this time either. They could go DB, Deontay Banks.
Or do they go tight end and get
Kincaid or Mayer, or even Darnell Washington or Sam Laporte? there's like 5 tight ends we could see maybe even go in the first round, arguably. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Will Levis, who I said I will say can go to any of these teams until the Chargers. So there's a lot of ways Detroit can go here. Heck, they can even trade back again.
Tampa Bay with Will Levis.
Honestly, I think Tampa Bay might be the spot he goes.
Or do they help him and go?
They could go lineman. They could
Hendon
go.
Hooker still.
Now that's
Can
something.
you imagine if they did?
That would be
That was
interesting.
our big draft reach.
And I mean, if a team wants a guy to just sit for a little bit, obviously there's injury concerns, but just to be able to learn a little bit, I mean, you can have Baker start a couple games at least the beginning of the year, depending on how that goes, and then he can start the year if it's going good. But you only signed him to a 1-year contract, so you could, in theory, let Hendon Hooker sit the year and then have him start next year. Or it's same with Seattle, who picks right after Tampa Bay. Geno Smith, yes, it's a 3-year contract, but the way it's structured is, I believe, like 2 years in, they can get him out. So have Hendon Hooker or even Will Levis sit for 2 years. I think it could happen.
Yeah. Who's left for edge?
Nolan Smith is still there.
That could very well go.
I don't
Go
want to.
him.
Keon White is still there. Felix Nudike Uzama still there. I'm blanking on Notre Dame's guy. He's kind of got a very fancy name too. I'm sorry. I know I'm a butcher these names, but there's a couple defensive ends that we could start seeing pop off, or at least fly off the board. I mean, Jackson Smith-Njigba's still here though. Like, why is he still? Are fans more hyped than NFL GMs are on his talent? I guess.
I guess we're gonna see a lot of receivers go in the later rounds.
True. A lot of teams now feel like they can get guys.
At the break.
The pick is in for the Detroit, so it's a commercial break. So I'm assuming as soon as got a kink in my neck, but as soon as it's out of this JJ Watt commercial, that it'll probably.
I'm gonna take a chance and say it's Kincaid.
I can see it. That's the thing about Detroit. There's a couple different ways they could go, and no matter what way they go, it's a great pick. Wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, defensive lineman, even linebacker. We could start seeing a linebacker go here, or in like off-ball linebackers, not maybe pass rush linebackers. I sometimes have to make that distinction, but I mean even corner. I mean, we saw Christian Gonzalez go. Maybe they were hoping he was going to fall to them. Deontay Banks we could go here. Joey Porter Jr. I mean, there's a couple other guys. Cam Smith. Several DBs that could go. I don't think they would go Brian Branch.
There's also Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M.
True.
But
they went offense at 12. I just don't. I see them going more defense this way. At least that's what I feel like. If you're gonna go one, you go the other.
I can't recall who their safeties are.
They had a rookie play last year who played really good. I mean, he picked off Aaron Rodgers twice, so. I mean, they could take a safety. I wish I could know better than I do, but. God, these commercials.
On YouTube, it's still at the point where Brett's on.
And he's missed what now? 2 picks? He left after. Was he here for Washington's pick? No, I don't think he was. I think he left right before the Jets pick, even. No, I think that's around when he left. So yeah, this is 3 or 4 picks now that he's been gone. So That's really delayed. I hate that. I hate that how delayed it is. I don't know if that's because of my internet connection or the latency. I did kind of put it at normal latency because I was worried about buffering, which for the most part I haven't seen it buffer.